So I first became aware of art through St. Michael's University Church, a church that I've been attending for the last 17 years of my life in Santa Barbara. My husband and I moved here about 17 years ago. We discovered this wonderful church, and uh, we've kind of grown up in this church. Um, about a year ago, our beloved longtime pastor was moving on to another wonderful career experience, and we wished him well. And as a congregation, we were left with grappling with, well, how do we move on without? I should also note that we didn't have a priest coming in to replace our outgoing priest right away. Art was so gracious and generous to volunteer to lead us through a 6-week spiritual journey about um, where do we want to go as a church. I think, like many churches, oftentimes parishioners, congregations rely on take for granted the leading priests' leadership and their interest and their vision of where to take the church. So it was a really reassuring experience that Art led us through. Each individual week, he kind of told us more and more, like the peeling of an onion, of how to sort of self-reflect and ask ourselves, what do we want to do? And what can we do as a community, as a church community, recognizing that we all bring different backgrounds and different experiences um, and spirituality, I think, to church. So, and art style was really inviting. He immediately opened up and went deep. So, we weren't sure how this process was going to go, but it was just so inspiring to have Art open up about grief and God and how, our experience with being emotionally open was kind of like a very basic essential of life. Um, it's kind of like comparison to food and water. You have to do it. You have to get in touch with your emotions, um, and he did it right away. He demonstrated it right away in the first service that he led. He told some stories of his youth and his struggles through school and moving, to the South, and some of the challenges he faced with his parents and, throughout his career. And so it was really moving to hear him kind of explain how he had particular, good and bad experiences, but also painful experiences, and how he kind of connected with God um, to be in touch with that pain, to recognize how that affected his life, to really guide him on how he lives his life now. So I sat through those sessions just really sucking it all in, and because I am in a self-reflective mode myself. I am in my 40s. I have 2 kids. I have a career. I've done a lot to, fight hard in life, but I think we don't go to school to learn how to get in touch with our emotions. And I think, as someone who's made it to, a little bit of midlife, I think I'm still a very novice when it comes to sort of tying all the different experiences of my background together and making some meaning out of it. And I think Art does that very well. He is in his 80s, and I hope I can be like that in my 80s, to be so aware of myself, reflective, and be ready to love and show love so readily.